Thank you, folks. You know, before we go on to the next song, there's someone you have to meet that you haven't met yet officially. And this guy grew up down the street from me. I didn't even know he was there. Half a mile, yeah. Half a mile down the street. Got to know his father and him very well. His father's name was Ormiston. We all called him Orm. Very, very cool guy. Piano player from the old school. Man, could that man play. So, as they say, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. And, you know, it did come to light later that probably while my kids were in high school, Mike was selling drugs to them. But a little bit younger than me.
I didn't think he knew.
Spies everywhere.
The keyboard's expensive, man. You know.
Right? So this guy right here is the wizard of the keyboards, Mr. Michael Heffernan.
Thanks, Rick. You know, that's great. You know, he never says that kind of stuff to me in private. You know, he never is that complimentary. I just got the intermediate package. What's the premium package like? That's a little bit more expensive, right? How many more compliments can you? Anyway, I gotta tell you, this gig has been, I started in 1981, and it was far above anything that I had done before. And there was a lot of bonuses to this. One of the bonuses was we got to meet a lot of celebrities. And one in particular, who was a big fan of Gord, there's a lot of people that were fans of it. Billy Joel was a big fan. A lot of people were influenced by Gord. He wasn't a follower, he was a leader in terms of a lot of innovations he did with what they called folk rock at the time. But anyways, this one fan came up drove up from Malibu. We were playing in Stockton, California. He drove up from Malibu with his wife. So about 6 hours from purposely to see Gordon. It was Chris Christopherson. And so Gordon gave him the royal treatment, of course. They were old friends. And Gordon and I had this, to give some context to this, Gordon and I had this ritual we would do before the show, where I had this little keyboard that had speakers, and we would, for 45 minutes, sometimes an hour before the show, he would say to me, Michael, I got 30 strings to do. It's two 12 strings and a 6 string. So we got to go tune these things. It was mostly almost a Zen thing. It was like meditation. Anyways, Chris asked me to be studio in on it. I said, sure, fine. I said, it's boring. Why would you want to do this? And so we did this we were busy for maybe 20 minutes. And Gord took a little break and left the room. Chris said to me, you know, Gord was the very first person to record my song, Me and Bobby McGee. I said, as a matter of fact, I didn't know that. And so a little bit later, I said to Gord, Chris was telling me that you were the first person to record Me and Bobby McGee. He says, he's full of shit. So, me being the kind of guy I am, I went back to Chris and said, Gord says you're full of shit. And it turns out Gord was right. Who was it? It was Roger Miller, right, that did it.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand why. A lot of people don't know that Chris was a Rhodes Scholar. A lot of people know that that's Oxford University picks certain people to go there and study for a year. It's usually English, like people with a master's in English. So the English language was very important to Chris. So maybe he was a little embarrassed that this guy that does England swings like a pendulum do. Who was singing his whole or dang me. Anyways, folks, great. I can't tell you how great it is. They're supporting us. We're on a mission. We're trying to keep this music going. And